On a scale from Google to The Horde, how obviously evil is your company name? Hi, and welcome to the special Reboot edition of Charm Chats with Kendra
and Kat.
Today we're covering episode 5 of the new Charmed reboot, Other Women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, that title pretty well sums up what happens.
Mm-hmm. It does indeed. Speaking of summing things up, go for it.
Okay. We open with Macy taking a bubble bath when she is startled by a strange figure and telekinetically slams it into the hallway. Turns out it's Harry, who doesn't know how to knock. The commotion leads to a midnight conference around the stairs. Nico and Mel visit Tripp's grave, and just after they leave, a generic white boy turns into smoke and goes into the grave. Macy, at work, meets Alistair Kane, who, in addition to hypnotizing people with his eyes, also runs a biotech company named after Lucifer. Macy learns that Galvin has been shacking up with an ultra-perfect hottie. Turns out, generic white guy demon is also an FBI agent, too. Really good at the multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy lassos Maggie into helping her find out what other woman made Parker break up with her. Maggie is uncomfortable being part of a symbolic witch hunt, especially when she knows who did it. Nico tells Mel that Tripp may have known more about Marisol's death, but Mel tries to get Nico to let go of her suspicions out of concern. GWGD, that's generic white guy demon, teleconferences with Alistair about his progress with regards to Tripp's missing case files, and it's clear that Nico is currently in his crosshairs. Maggie helps Macy cyberstalk Galvin's new girlfriend, Summer. Mel's attempts to distract Nico with weekend plans only serves to set her on the hunt, with GWGD on her tail. Maggie's cyberstalking makes her suspect that Summer is in fact a succubus, and Harry gives them some handy tips on spotting one. At Tripp's lake cabin, Nico finds all of the missing case files, DNA vials, and apparently Tripp? But no, it's just GWGD, who has shapeshifted into his form. And then he sets the cabin on lovely green fire.
Green flame!
Yeah. Mel manages to drag Nico out just in time. Harry tells her that a demonic assassin is likely after Nico and to watch out for further shapeshifters. Maggie runs into Parker at the bar, which only increases her guilt over Lucy. Meanwhile, a strange glowy mark on Galvin makes Macy believe Maggie was right about Summer being a succubus. Over at the hospital, Mel stops the shapeshifter from killing Nico with the help of Harry, and they move her to the house. Mel sets in on performing a spell to rewrite her personal history so she and Nico would never have met. Macy and Maggie attempt to vanquish Summer, who is not a succubus as it turns out. Upon leaving, the sisters have a chat about their problematic boy feelings. Everyone arrives home to help Mel perform her spell, and Mel has to say a very tearful goodbye to Nico as she dissolves into sand. Over breakfast, the girls examine the evidence of a changed timeline and the evidence Nico found in Tripp's cabin. Maggie tells Lucy the truth about what happened with Parker, and it does not go well. Mel finds out that Nico's absence from her life has more consequences than she thought, and she is now jobless. Macy apologizes to Galvin and gets a copy of the strange mark on him. GWGD attempts to make excuses for losing the DNA vials to Alistair, apparently his dad, and Alistair alters his plans to center on the charmed ones instead. And we're done.
And we learned the generic white boy demon's name is Hunter. Because of course it is.
Yeah, because of course it is. So yeah, let's start right there. Why'd they make him his dad?
You know, I don't know.
Like, okay. What? When he said it the first time, I thought I misheard, and then I was watching it again with captions on, and I'm like,
you did not mishear.
Dad? What?
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, like, with a name like Alistair Kane, in charge of Morningstar Biotech.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
How do the girls not immediately think he's evil?
This is just one of those, like, fiction TV conventions where it doesn't matter how evil sounding the company name is, you can never assume that they're evil.
Apparently. But, you know, the pretty girl who's after the guy that you blew off a few times, and so he assumed you don't actually like him. No, she's got to be a demon, right?
I liked that Macy wasn't into it until she saw something she couldn't explain. And then she's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
But, of course, they went... Like, obviously, Summer couldn't have been... The entire time, I'm like, she's not. This is not... No.
I literally have in my notes... I want Galvin to be marked by something other than Summer, and I want Summer to be just a pretty girl with a back tattoo. I kind of want the demon who marked Galvin to be the nerd who was talking about Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, that would make me just a little sad.
I know, but like I want it to be someone that we haven't really noticed at all.
Honestly, Victor is a creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's what I was thinking. I was like, I want it to be somebody that we haven't really been like noticing at all.
I just loved the joke of the summer sex days. It's November.
Like, no.
Uh-huh. The question now is, will Gavin spend 500 days with her? Kat is shaking her head.
Bad. Okay, so starting back at the beginning really quickly. Is candles in the bathroom while taking a bath a TV thing, or do people actually do that? Because, like, I know that I don't normally take baths, period, because, you know, I live in an apartment and baths are tiny. But, like, I don't...
I've always kind of wanted to, but, like, at the same time, I've never lived in a place where that was a convenient option.
Yeah, like, I just don't have enough counter space to have a candle burning.
Yeah, whatever
safely.
shelf, whatever, like, ledge by the bathtub, there's just not enough room.
The only time I ever have a candle burning in the bathroom is when the power goes out.
This is true. And even then, I usually just get a flashlight and point it at the ceiling.
Yeah. Because
then it diffuses nicely through the bathroom.
Yeah. Like...
It's that or break out the tap lights.
Yeah. Okay. It was one of those where I was just like, is this really a thing that happens with people? Because I don't get it.
I mean, I love the idea with it. And yes, my dream home will have a nice big soaker tub and like a little table on which I can put some candles.
I would love to just have a table. I wish that I would just have a tub that, you know, actually covers my body.
This is what I am saying. This is what I call a soaker tub. Mm-hmm. Because, having your knees and your boobs covered at the same time is the dream for bigger ladies.
Yeah.
I actually stayed in a hotel this year where there was a tub big enough to do that.
Wow.
It was great.
But yeah, no, I have literally never been in a tub that covers both my boobs and my knees at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
That's because apparently it only happens in an $800 a night room.
Apparently.
Which we got on deep discount because wedding.
Nice. Anyway, also, I believe that Harry got what he deserved because coming into the bathroom at 1 o'clock in the morning...
Yeah, when the door is closed.
The door is closed... And you walk in and there's candles and the curtain on the tub is closed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How are you not assuming that there's somebody in there? But on the flip side of that, Macy should have locked the door.
Well, yeah, but like I don't always lock the bathroom door when I'm taking a shower.
Right, but that's because you have, you know, considerate roommates. But I don't know.
But yeah, generally, unless it's an issue with, like, you have a pet who will get up to mischief in the bathroom, you close your bathroom door only when someone is occupying it.
Yeah.
So was this not a thing in the 50s?
I don't know.
Granted, we learned he doesn't remember any of his life, so maybe he wouldn't remember anyway.
That could be.
Mm-hmm.
That could very
also,
well
he's
be.
squatting in their attic.
Yeah. There are many things that have happened in this episode that are just very confusing. Like, the elders have taken away the Book of Shadows.
To study it.
And see if Marisol put in any more spells. But they didn't know this one was here. Like, the last one was in there. How are they... Like, there's just so many questions.
Yeah. Like, how do you get a cordless iron? He runs into the room with the iron. It has no cord. Are there battery-powered irons now? Is that a thing?
I mean...
Because it's kind of hilarious to see that. It would have been even funnier had it had a cord that was trailing behind him as he walked into the room.
That would have been funnier. But I know that there's at least a couple of different irons that you can detach the cord.
This I have never heard of.
Yeah.
Honestly, what it looked like that there was a compartment on the bottom that retracts the cord into it.
That could be. But I know that at least, last time I owned an iron, which I haven't owned in like a decade.
I forgot I own 2, apparently. That one was in my sewing box that I forgot about.
Well then. But there's one where it's kind of like a computer cord where it pops in when you need it and you pull it out to store it. So it could be like that.
Yeah, I've never had that kind of an iron.
But it's one of those where, like, I wonder, at 1 o'clock in the morning, he comes in to the bathroom. Like, what is he holding?
I don't know. I thought that was hilarious that we never find out.
Yeah, we never find out.
But also, he looked shook when he came out from under that curtain.
Yeah. There's just so many
And why don't they have a
things.
curtain liner?
Not everybody does.
You should, though.
Not everybody does. And like,
it looks nicer.
Well, yeah. But
because then you have the nice plastic, like clear or frosty plastic on the inside to keep all the water in the tub. And then on the outside, you have a nice decorative thing that looks cool. Yeah. Like my periodic table downstairs.
Yes. And then there's people like me who only have the liner because my bathroom is too fucking tiny that if I had anything that wasn't clear and see-through, I wouldn't be able to see anything in the shower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't even have a frosty one, can you?
Nope.
This is why you lock the bathroom door.
Yep.
Because most people, if they're just in the shower, well, they have the like, physical covering. You can't really see anything.
Yep.
Unless you're one of those people whose shower has, like, the doors.
Yep. Anyway. God, I miss doors on a bathtub. Sorry.
Oh, I was looking... So, I've been, like, trolling Zillow a bunch lately. Just looking at kitchens, mostly. And I saw one house that was, like, super cheap. Didn't need much done to it. But for some reason, the bathtub was one of those, like, walk-in bathtubs, but the door to open was missing. Like, those weird bathtubs for seniors? Yeah, it was like one of those. It had the cutout for the door. The door was not there. So you could not use it as a bathtub. Yeah.
That's weird.
Very. Bothered me.
Anyway, I do like that we get to see Tripp's headstone where his name is Tripp.
Yeah.
So Tripp Bailey. So he's not the third in the line. He's just his parents named him Tripp.
That's weird though. Like Tripp is a nickname.
Yeah, well, apparently not.
Like even if it's not short for the third, it's still a nickname, right?
Yeah. Hey, there are people who name their child Apple.
Also,
and,
did it? I forgot to look. Did it have a date of birth, date of death?
Okay, so I actually wrote this down because I noticed it. So it has his date of birth as March 15th, 1985.
Mm-hmm.
And it has his date of death as November 5th, and then there's flowers in front of the death date. And I thought that was hilarious because you've made him born in 85. You didn't cover up the year he was born. So...
Well, it would have to be 2018.
I mean, it has
because
to
later
be.
We see Macy's date of birth, and it's November 27th, 1990, which means she's younger than me.
They're all younger than me.
Makes me feel super unaccomplished because she's a doctor.
Hey, I have learned that finding out that someone is the same age as you is just horrible. Mm-hmm. Absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm. I know, we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people.
Yep.
It's tough, though.
Yep. Anyway.
Is this the first time we've heard her called Dr. Vaughn? I think it might have been.
I think maybe.
Yeah. Because, obviously she works in a genetic lab. I forget. I know Thane addressed her at some point in the first episode, but I forget what he said. If he said Dr. Vaughn, or if he said Miss Vaughn, because he's an asshole.
I honestly don't remember.
I mean, that would track. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
also, she went to... They show her, her employee profile, and for some reason, it says Education NYU. You'd write that out. Wouldn't you?
I don't know.
I mean, yes, it's NYU, but still, you should write that out.
I don't know. Anyway, I do enjoy CGI Smoke Man.
Yeah,
it was a cool effect.
Yeah, and then the logo was was that trying to mimic that, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It looks...
The logo... Okay, so the logo comes up... Because CGI man...
goes into the grave.
Yeah, our
GWGD.
Thank you. Turns into smoke, and the smoke goes into the grave, which is just dirt on the ground because, he was just buried. And then the logo just kind of appears sitting on top of the dirt there.
Yeah.
It was an interesting thing, but it wasn't like smoke and it wasn't dirt. It was just the logo in black sitting on top of the dirt.
Well, it wasn't in black. It looked kind of like tarnished metal.
Yeah, it was like a gray kind of color. Yeah. But like it was just sitting on top of the dirt, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe they'll return to the thematic logos next episode or something.
Yeah. Well, it was, the smoke clearing is what brought up the logo. So it was still thematic. Yeah. I do think it very funny, though, that as Maggie walks into the house, she's holding huge Gap bags. Mm-hmm. I'm like, not so subtle product placement.
Yeah.
Like, really? All right.
Yeah, also, we know she doesn't exactly have the largest of bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she going shopping at the Gap? The Gap is not cheap. Make it Old Navy.
Yeah, but Old Navy isn't as stylish. So the one thing I do have to say is I love the wardrobe department because these girls, like everyone in this show, for the most part, like 99% of the time, is dressed really good.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if we actually looked into what those clothes cost, it would be exorbitant.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's true of every TV show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they never wear the same thing twice.
Nope.
I think that's the funniest thing ever for me. If I was to, make a show... They'd be wearing the same clothes all the time. Like, they'd have, 7 or 8, maybe 10 or 12 outfits. And they just interchange them. And they'd all be in jeans every day.
Yes,
maybe a skirt once a week.
There would be jeans. I would make sure that they would have snarky t-shirts.
Yep.
And they would repeat.
Yep.
Or, maybe, be on a theme every week. Something like that. Yeah. Because if you've seen how many fucking t-shirts I own.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's
this is why I have to get rid of some.
But then the outfits would carry over from season to season.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's you saw this shirt last season because she still fucking owns it.
Yeah.
That's not a snark about Charmed. That's a snark about every TV show ever.
This is true. This is very true.
Because they never wear the same thing twice.
Mm-hmm.
I do like
Or if they do, it ends up on a different character, and that makes the internet go nuts.
Yeah. I do like as they're texting, the overlay that pops up. I like that. It kind of reminds me of BBC Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that.
But it's less
intrusive. Yeah. But I like it. I enjoy that updated technology typey thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's poor, stupid, trusting Nico.
Yep.
Seriously, woman.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that Trip was dead. You buried Trip. And now Trip shows up, and you immediately give him whatever he asks for.
Well, yeah.
Poor, stupid, trusting Nico.
I mean, honestly, if I were a person who didn't know about magic and I were already chafing at the idea of someone I know, A, being dead, B, being a serial killer, and they appear before me, I'd be like, well, clearly everything I know is wrong from the last, 5 days, so I'm going to go back to square one where I know you.
Yeah, I don't know if I would.
Well, yes, but if you had no concept of the supernatural, you have to assume that this is an explainable thing.
See, here's the thing.
Wouldn't you be? Well, you wouldn't immediately fully distrust them. You'd be like, oh, okay, they'll explain everything to me. I just have to wait for the explanation.
Maybe. But
yeah, you wouldn't hand him the fucking vials.
Yeah, no, I absolutely wouldn't have given him. The one thing I found.
But you would have put away your gun.
I might have... Yeah, I would have.
You've got a dog hair on your glasses, by the way. It's kind of bothering me. Okay, good.
Cool. Yes, I probably would have put away my gun.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely would not have given him the vials.
Mm-hmm.
I would have demanded more explanation.
Yeah. And then he would have backhanded you into the wall.
Yes, but then he wouldn't have gotten the vials because they'd have still been in my pocket.
Uh-huh.
Just saying.
Also, you probably have broken the wall.
Yes.
Because if he has enough force to throw you, you'll go through that fucking cabin wall. It looks super flimsy.
Yes. Absolutely. And then we have the green flame, which I immediately...
Hellfire!
So I immediately, if anyone... It's a D&D thing. If anybody knows Acquisitions Incorporated and Chris Perkins, I saw Green Flame.
Inc.
Yes. I saw the green flame and I immediately went, green flame! And like, I looked around my bedroom and I'm like, nobody knows what that is. I'm alone in my room. But I thought it was hilarious.
I liked that it couldn't be frozen.
I enjoyed that it was magic enough that it wasn't being able to be frozen, but the a la convenience that it was everywhere except in a lovely path right to Nico.
Yeah.
Annoyed the shit out of me because I'm sorry. I love Nico. She's great. She should have been fucking burnt to a crisp.
Yeah. It didn't seem to have a whole lot of heat, but it did have smoke. Because
it didn't touch her at all.
Yeah.
She wasn't injured in any way.
Like, okay. What would have been nice is if, maybe it had consumed the entire wall, because already you're in an enclosed space, you're going to be at risk from smoke inhalation. Like, everyone in California right now is under alert for atmospheric conditions because of the wildfires. And I know Holly Marie Combs had to go to the hospital. Well, she didn't have to go to the hospital. Her husband made her go to the hospital about smoke inhalation because they had to retrieve their horses or something.
Yeah.
And, like, smoke inhalation is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, that and carbon monoxide with fire. You will not get burned before you die of smoke inhalation generally, especially in a space that tiny.
Right, but if there's literally flame on either side of you, you'd think maybe.
No. Also, that should be hot.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I've stood...
It's magical green flame, so it might not be hot.
Well, whatever. It's making smoke, so it's some kind of chemical reaction. It's just a magical chemical reaction.
Yeah.
It's science magic.
Yeah.
But, like, I've been at bonfires, and you can't stand more than 10 feet from those flames. And they're not particularly large fires.
Correct.
So, like, you'd all your skin would be gone that close to a flame. That big. So, clearly, hellfire doesn't have a whole lot of actual heat until it touches you. I don't know.
I just... yeah. Moving swiftly on, we get to the hospital with Mel standing over Nico and chatting with Harry. And he tells her to forward the pictures that Nico took to herself and then delete them off her phone. We don't see her forward the pictures at all, but we see her delete them. However, she doesn't perma-delete them. She just does the initial delete. So if Nico went back into her phone and into the deleted pictures, they'd still be there for the next 30 days. Thank you, iPhone.
Oh, see, I didn't really know that.
Yep.
Because I've never had to do that.
Yep. I've done that a lot. But here's my question. Why? Why did we have to see that? Do you know what I mean? Like, we didn't see her forward anything to herself, but we saw her delete the pictures, and that was less than, 30 seconds. There's no way that she forwarded them to herself before deleting them in that moment. Like,
Also, how is her camera roll only 4 pictures long?
Yeah, that too. I mean, seriously, this girl doesn't take any other pictures? I mean, really? Oh, I could go on about that for hours, but, I understand that not everybody is me with their 3,000 pictures of dogs. I get it.
Yeah.
Or more to the fact,
my 300 pictures
3,000 pictures of one dog.
Yes.
That isn't even my dog.
Well, it should be at least 4,500 pictures of 2 dogs that aren't your dog.
Yes. It's more like 5,000 pictures of 3 dogs that aren't my dog.
Yeah.
Only 500 of which is Alice.
Yes.
the pictures on my phone are 2/3 Chihuahua.
Yeah. That's more like 4/5.
No, 2/3 Chihuahua.
Well, no, because you said 5,000 pictures. Oh, sorry, that's 9/10. According to what you said, that is 9/10, because you said 500 pictures of Alice, 5,000 pictures total. Don't fight me on the math. You don't know math well.
I was being facetious in the fact that I have 3 dogs and 2 of them are Chihuahuas.
I don't care that you're facetious.
Anyway, let's move on, shall we? So I understand that the whole summer thing is put in there because we want to make Macy get jealous and whatever and succubus craziness, whatever. They go to the bar where Galvin and Summer are. Why does Maggie not try to shake Summer's hand? Hi, this could have been all solved if you had just shooken her fucking hand.
Shooken.
Yep. And read her fucking mind.
Yeah, that would have been. Also, how is Maggie allowed into the bar? She's a freshman.
Because if you're, I have learned these things because of me. If you can go into a bar if you're 18 as long as you're not drinking. If you tell the bouncer or the bartender or whatever that you are designated driver, then you can be there to be with your friends as long as you do not drink.
And then she shows up with 2 drafts in her hand, one of which is for her sister. So,
yeah, well,
whoops.
There is that.
Yeah. Although we don't see her drink. We don't see either of them really drink, do we?
No, but that happens a lot in TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Where they get food or drink and then don't actually eat or drink any of it.
Also, dollar draft night is not worth it. They're not good drafts.
Oh, well, beer isn't good, so, you know.
Well, I mean, even good beer, they wouldn't sell for $1. Like, there's decent beer. Dollar draft is going to be like Miller Lite or some shit, and that's basically piss water.
Like I said, I don't like beer at all.
Well,
so
I know, but you're
all
biased.
Of it's gross.
What I'm saying is I have had a variety of beers, some of which I have enjoyed more than others, none of which have been cheap enough to be $1 draft.
I guess. So, moving swiftly on, the hospital thing with the green...
Yeah, the virulently green
Okay, so
syringes.
What was that stuff supposed to be, is my question. Because there's
He was already set up.
Yeah, there's 2 needles full of it, just already set it up, like, ready to go. And then fucking Mel, who one of these days will maybe not be reckless, maybe, freezes this person, this supposed nurse, and then immediately walks over to her without calling for any sort of help at all whatsoever.
To be fair, she didn't know the person was going to unfreeze. She just had a suspicion and went to go check it out.
Again.
We have not seen anyone fight through the freezing before. There is no reason to...
But she just dealt with green flame, not freezing with her powers. You'd think she would be, I don't know, a little more cautious. Just a thought.
I think that's why she froze it instead of, doing anything more drastic. Because she's like, oh, this nurse looks just like that nurse outside. Hold up a sec.
And again, you see this nurse in here with some sort of green thing. You see the same nurse outside. You freeze said nurse, and then you call for Harry.
I think she was about to do that when she got choked out.
But seriously, what was that green stuff supposed to be?
I don't know. Why was it already set up in the room?
Yeah, like oh God.
Is it like body hellfire?
This show just...
It would be nice to, have 90% of the pieces, like, ready to assemble. Because, like, sure, we can take some thought. We don't have to see them driving to every single place. We know how they get there.
Legit, you know how that would have been better? Is if we saw the nurse walk in with the tray.
See?
That one little thing where nurse walks in with the tray, puts down the tray, and then says, okay, she's ready for her meds.
Yeah.
Instead of the nurse walking in and the tray is already there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh God, okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
I wonder if the whole Galvin with the mark on him, since it isn't Summer being a succubus, and we don't know who else it might be. Did Alistair fuck with Macy somehow? Because he was there in the beginning of the episode and met her and like touched her and whatever. And we know that he can do things.
Maybe.
So did he fuck with her somehow to make her think that Galvin is marked by something?
I'm going to say just at the outset, probably not. Because at the end, she manages to get a copy of the mark. And I don't think that would have happened if Macy were only imagining the mark. Because I don't think you can account for it making an impression on something else. Now, agreed, if it's like, this isn't psychic paper. Like, she's not... But I don't think it would function along the same rules as like a psychic paper, where when she sees it, it follows like the natural rules that she's going to assume. I think if it weren't really there, then only she would ever see it and it would never affect anything else.
But the fact that Summer didn't see anything on Galvin and Maggie didn't see anything on Galvin makes me think that Macy's the only one who can see it, which is why I'm thinking that somehow Alistair has fucked with Macy so that she is seeing things. And because she wants this magic thing that Harry gave her to be true, that's why she sees it on the paper. Don't know. Next episode we'll find out whether or not I'm pulling shit out of my ass. But that's what I was thinking on it, is that either her powers are growing and she's seeing shit that no one else can see, or Alistair has fucked with her and therefore she's seeing things that aren't actually there.
Or a mysterious third option.
Yeah, or something has actually... marked him in some way.
Or there's a reason why she is the only one who can see it.
Yeah.
And honestly, though, the way they were showing it, it was clearly not visible from the door anyway.
Well, there is that.
So, well.
Yeah, because it was on the backside of his body. So, let's see. Other little things. So, we see Maggie and Macy outside in the rain under an umbrella, and then they get back to the house and neither of them is holding the umbrella, and I got really annoyed by that.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm like, what did
That's
they do?
worse
Leave
than
it
the
on the
changing
porch?
umbrella.
Well, but see, at least the changing umbrella had a reason. It's because they reshot some shit.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, but that's not an in-show reason.
No, but at least that is a reason. This is just it was just raining outside. You had one umbrella for the two of you, and then neither of you come inside with it. And like, we don't even see them like put it down next to the door. So what do? Leave it on the fucking porch?
They do have a covered porch, probably.
That's the only thing I can think of. But like, legit, like, I have this weird thing about leaving your shit outside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a me nitpicking typey thing. Mm-hmm. So we are now on to the rewriting history portion of the episode.
This should not be her first resort.
Okay, see, but I don't even have an issue with that. Hold on, this is my thought process.
do. It's not much of an issue, but I have a slight issue with that.
I kind of do, but we'll get there. But okay, so here's the thing, right? So they rewrite history to make it so that Nico and Mel never meet, which doesn't change Trip or their mother dying, because if you're already dead, that doesn't change, which means
the timeline
will still have them dead. The reasons behind their death may be different.
Well, the reason behind Marisol's death wouldn't be different, but
I'm just saying, like, the reasons...
And technically the reason behind Trip's death also wouldn't be different, but like...
Well...
Nah.
But, the reasoning behind their deaths may be different.
The timeline would probably, like, fix itself around that.
Right. Because it will change little things that they can't foresee. So it's going to come back to bite them, right? Because it's going to change some shit.
Yeah.
We see the one thing in that Mel wasn't woken up by Nico, so she missed her interview, so she doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
But it's the question of how is this going to change Galvin and Lucy and Parker? Those are the other three people that we know, plus, thinking about like Maggie's ex-boyfriend and these little things. Like, how is this all going to change things? But so now here's my annoyance. We learn that the four of them, the three girls and Harry, are the only ones that will know what has changed. They're the only ones who will continue to have the memory. Harry says that the spell takes the power of 3, because it's that powerful, and then
tells Mel to
leave because, her sisters can finish it and say the spell. I'm sorry, what? What?
You're scaring the dog.
I apologize for scaring the dog. But what? That's my first annoyance. Yeah. And then my second annoyance is after the fact, the next day, Lucy has asked Maggie to help figure out why Parker broke up with her. And Maggie, knowing that they have changed the past, still decides she's going to tell Lucy that it was her. Are you fucking kidding me, sweetheart? Never do that. Just be like, I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything.
Well, see,
there's nothing online that I can see as to why he broke up with you or who he cheated on you with. Because there's nothing online.
I would have gone with I ran into Parker last night and he said it was because he had feelings for someone else. Because that's the truth. You wouldn't be lying. You wouldn't be saying everything. But if you say, because she is initially kind of waffly. She went there with the intention, but then she was kind of like, and then because Lucy was clearly like going on a spiral, she decides, yes, I will tell you the truth.
And the truth of what mistake.
Yeah, that was her mistake.
When Lucy goes on the spiral of
soft
it's
mom
just
arms.
me, it's just me.
Yeah,
that's when you'd be like, it's okay, sweetie, it's okay. We'll get through this together. You just lean into that shit. No,
I wouldn't have. I would have been like, hey, here's the thing. I saw Parker last night, and he told me what it was. And that way, Lucy can go focus her anger on Parker instead of trying to find another woman.
No, because then she focuses her anger on Parker, and then Parker tells her that it was Maggie. That would make it even worse.
That might, but at least she wouldn't be on Maggie for now. Like, I don't know. I don't generally approve of lying. I like to go with, here's the truth that will hurt the least amount.
And see, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on this. Because like there are just so many ways that this could have gone down.
Also, Lucy is not an ugly crier. She has mascara streaks.
Yeah.
Very artificial mascara streaks. She's not an ugly crier.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit, seeing her this entire episode was very hilarious because she never has her hair up. Ever. She's got messy bun.
Yeah.
Messy bun and less makeup.
Yeah.
Which, granted for people who don't understand how makeup works, might look like she's disheveled.
Sure. The other reason behind all of this is that because they have changed history, Parker may have broken up with her for a completely different reason.
Yeah, that's the problem with messing with timelines with stuff. You have to very clearly state what specific will change. Apparently, this is supposed to be like laser surgery type of change where anything not directly... hang on, stop shaking your head. I'm not finished. Where anything not directly related to Nico being in Hilltown wouldn't have changed. Where the timeline would just go like, okay, well, these are the events without Nico, so let's just make them happen as close to what happened before as possible, where possible. Now, what's funny to me is that knowing Mel didn't get that job, she apparently doesn't have any other job. Now, the problem...
Not necessarily.
Well, okay, hang on. So, it's funny to me because, like, she now exists in a timeline that is very different from the timeline she originally was in. She doesn't have the memories of the timeline she is in. So if she has another job, she wouldn't fucking know about it.
Yep.
And that's
if she has funny. Another girlfriend, she wouldn't fucking know about it.
I'm like, I kept expecting like someone else to swan in and be like, hey honey, and start making out and be like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Because that should be how timelines work. They're weird.
Yeah, there are so many things, and this is why...
Like, remember that episode of Buffy where Cordelia wished that Buffy hadn't come to Sunnydale? Shit was so different.
Yep.
But Buffy was a super important part of the town, so, like, I get that not having Nico wouldn't have as huge an effect, but, like, apparently being, like, stitched back together has minimal consequences?
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens in the next episode to find out how fucked things actually are.
Did you watch the preview?
I did not. I did not. I try not to watch the preview of the next episode because I'd rather go
Honestly,
into
I
it.
don't really remember much of it. I just remember Macy and Maggie have to pull Mel out of bed, and she's like, "It's so bright," and they're like, "You're not a vampire."
Nice. Yeah, no, I rarely watch the coming up next thing because it just then I'll be thinking about it, and I don't want to be thinking about it. I do like the fact of that Mel no longer has this job. And it'll be interesting to see if she does have another job, if she has another girlfriend, like all the little things that do get changed. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see how that gets changed.
Or maybe she'll just have a bunch of free time and can go do witchy shit.
But yeah. And because we know how TV works, I can't wait for something to have happened and Nico to show up.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know it's going to, right?
It
has to.
Yeah.
Because if you are, like, meant to know somebody, life will find a way to make it happen.
Life finds a way.
Exactly. I don't know. My
usually
final...
the way involves pterodactyls. I say as I stare at my Making of Jurassic Park book.
Yes.
Because that's the shelf directly opposite me.
Yes. I don't know. My final thoughts on it are like this entire episode, I was having a hard time coming up with positive things to say because there's just so many tropes that are happening.
Well, for one thing, I enjoyed that Summer tried to cover for them.
Yeah, I did like that.
That was nice.
I did like that they
were
was
very
cool
much going with the choice of she's not going to be a succubus. She's just going to be a very nice woman who, does look a little fake, but that's because you just don't know her. Maybe she's actually that nice. She is, as it turns out.
That nice, yeah. So, backing up for half a second. They went to Galvin's apartment. Why did Summer answer the door? Just saying.
Yeah, that was Galvin's apartment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Weird. Yeah, what the fuck did they think was gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, she tries to get them out before he pops up.
Yeah. They went to Galvin's apartment, and Summer was the one who answered the door.
God, that's weird.
Yeah. Just throwing that out there as well. But yeah, so my final thoughts are that there are a few interesting plot lines that are still keeping my attention enough not to completely dislike the show. But it's still not holding my interest enough that if we weren't doing this for the podcast that I would want to keep watching. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of happy that we're doing this for the podcast because there is enough that I'm like, okay, how is this going to fuck with them next time? Mm-hmm. But it's still just a 6 out of 10 for me. Yeah. Like it hasn't gotten better, but it hasn't really gotten worse, which is good, I guess.
Yeah. I also find it hilarious that the whole changing timeline thingy fucked over the evil guys in a way that Mel could not have known about.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and the fact that they know something changed.
Yeah.
But they don't know exactly what changed.
Yeah.
Also makes me happy.
Yeah. They felt a temporal shift.
Yeah.
But they have zero idea. Like, he knew he had the vials. He has somehow forgotten from whom he got them.
Right. Or where.
Yeah.
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 What? Oh, man. Wild.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's going to be...
I always have lots of thoughts about, like, time travel and timeline issues. Like, for example, the Final Destination movies, I feel like if you get a premonition, you get off scot-free. You get to do whatever. Because clearly something gave you that premonition.
Yeah, well.
Which means you get a pass to do whatever you want to stop whatever it is from happening. And death can't say shit.
I have so many issues with the Final Destination movies.
My biggest issue is that they showed, was it 2? With the highway?
I don't remember which.
They showed the one with the highway in my driving class in high school. That's not... before we even were allowed to drive.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. Let's just put the fear of
Please,
everything
let's
into you.
show this to all these impressionable 15-year-olds.
Yep. Yep. And it's a rated R movie, so yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. All they showed us was like the whole pileup. And then they made the excuse of, well, you'll see what was done wrong. And I'm like, the whole point is that it's an accident.
Mm-hmm.
That all of these events happen and they're avoided. They didn't even show us the bit where she like stops everyone from going into the accident. Like, that's cathartic. Like, oh great, she stopped it from happening. We get to feel better because now we know all those people aren't dead. Yes, I get that it's fiction, but still, it has an impact.
Yeah. No, the Final Destination movies for me annoyed the shit out of me when the one girl who lived from the first movie is in like the mental asylum in the next movie, and she has fucking newspaper clippings tacked up to her fucking mental asylum wall. Well, no, it was like put up with like sticky tack, like the gummy type stuff, whatever. But I'm sorry, death will kill you however it can, and why are you not afraid of death from 1,000 paper cuts? I mean, seriously, woman, it's happened. And you're in a fucking mental ward with padded walls. They're not going to let you put paper on the walls. It's just not a thing that they do.
No.
There are so many things about that movie that I could probably do another podcast on it, but we're not going to do that right now.
No, because death is not cruel. It'll get you whenever. Yeah. It just waits.
When it's your time, it's your time.
And hey, if something changes and it's not your time, death is like, great, I got nothing but.
Exactly. On that note, we have no sign off.